Everybody, clearing. Okay, so today we're going to dive into a counterpart check-in and see what each counterpart would say to each other about the energies that are playing out right now for the collective. But first I'm going to jump into an intimate connection, see where the romantic sensual connection is right now. So thank you, divine creator. Okay, this one really wanted to come out. Six of Shells, that's the card of reciprocity. It did try to come out in the inverse, so that means we're really meant to be looking at giving to ourselves what we need, what we deserve. But let's see, so feminine's on the left, masculine's on the right. Thank you, divine creator, for using me as a channel of only the highest, most beneficial information coming through. What can we see for the amazing people that join me here? Okay, feminines. All the lovers in the connection space. And the sun coming up. This is incredible, everybody. Okay, so for the feminines, we have the Ace of Candles in the inverted. That one is saying, overexcitement can lead to unplanned consequences and misadventures. Overexertion may result in joint pain. Okay, so when it comes to the intimate connection, what I'm getting here is that the feminines have been, I don't want to say once bitten, twice shy, but they're becoming more savvy about the payoff of, you know, the sexual connection versus things of more substance, or making sure that it's not just connecting intimately with an agenda, that it's actually warranted, that it's actually legitimate, that it's actually reciprocal. So on this journey, if you are coming into mastery, your body won't actually be turned on by somebody that's not mutually invested. Prior to coming into upper mastery, you will be turned on by all manners of trauma and kinks and disintegration. But as you heal, those things will not do it for you in the ways that they used to. True intimacy with your partner will be founded on mutuality. That does not mean that you won't have fun with your partner. I'm not saying that won't happen, but you will likely have all that fun with just your partner in just the ways that you enjoy. So yeah, feminines are realizing though that no matter how tempting or theoretically good it might be, there are just some things about the lack of reciprocity that aren't worth it. Okay, masculines have the Star in the inverse. So this is typically, okay, I'm getting another message for the feminines. The Ace of Candles in other decks talks about inspiration. When it is in the inverted like this, that is also signaling that feminines, you are really listening to your soul about when intimacy is warranted and when your counterpart has earned, not that it's a, you know, a lording over them, but when it's justified, when it's warranted, when it's actually wholeheartedly sincere. I heard game on. When it's actually game on, hold out for that, my dear, beautiful masters. You're only letting yourself down if you know that it's not that. Masculines, the Star in the inverted. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay. Be careful not to overindulge, promise too much, misplace your faith, or disconnect from reality. Clear up if you make a mess. Okay, so yeah, masculines, take it slow and easy. And there's something going on right now. It looks like there's an opportunity for rushed intimacy or premature indulgence. So I feel like with the holiday season or New Year's Day, there's going to be some opportunities for people to connect, possibly physically, or maybe some promises. Masculines just don't give empty promises right now, and feminines don't bite if it's not actually warranted. Now, I'm not saying that everybody is going to be at a stage of the journey where this could be an issue, because if you are getting a green light, go do it. You're going to do what you're going to do. But the cards are saying really be conscious of that. We do have the Lovers and the Sun in the connection space here, which definitely means that there's going to be some really good energy and consciousness coming in. So let's see what the Lovers says. So this says, lovers meeting in a changeable landscape. As individuals, we can decide how we relate and negotiate with the other. Do opposites attract? Do you look for yourself in a partner? Gender and sexual roles are mostly for social convenience. You can choose to play with them in your encounters and learn more about yourself in the process. So this is really beautiful, because what did I say? Like, there's so many sexplorations that the counterparts can have, but feminines are really coming into this energy of wanting to go deep only with you, divine masculines, and to very much play with, especially with these gender roles. It feels to me, because we are specializing in the masculine and feminine, that there's a lot of play leading to understanding about the polarity in the connection. Take gender how it resonates and these polarities. It's not, the divine feminine and masculine isn't always configured in a male or female body. And so there is some playful exploration here to be had. This is saying two things. It's saying to be cautious of getting in too much too fast. So I do think there's something in the energy where people are honing sensitivity to these things, possibly able to like jump into certain things without thinking too deeply. But there's also an invitation to think a little bit more about all of it and to be curious about timing and play, intimacy. So it really is a fine line between going too deeply physically and not deeply enough consciously here. That is a beautiful thing that's coming out in here in this reading. So the Sun into the future. So whatever's going to play out over the next little while with these kinds of considerations, it looks like the Sun, this can be theoretically, this can be astral projection, this can also be physically. I'm getting, for many, there is a real possibility of overindulgence. We got joint pain for the feminines, and overindulgence for the masculines. So this is primarily physical meetups I'm getting. But the Sun, a bold new creature reveals itself, a body that is free, natural, and good. Oh my gosh. So this is like the reclamation. This is the higher love. So this is really the higher love coming into these sensual connections with counterparts because of the clearing, the leveling up, the mastery, the discernment coming in. And so, yeah, we really are going into the new year with a renewed mastery in the sacred sexual connection. Everyone benefits from a little sunshine. Here we can get loving attention, a boost of confidence, and unearned reward. Beauty radiates out from the Sun to us and beyond. Okay, so there's a little bit of a blip in the energy that looks like the counterparts are going to dabble in the sensual stuff again. It may not be consistently lasting from here on out, There may be some integration still needed because there's some exploration and integration. But it does look like this is a period of time where a great deal will be revealed to each counterpart, and more safety coming in, and definitely a temptation to overindulge. So take heed. The advice for this one is bask in your moment, share the joy, embrace your power, and don't be afraid to get naked, both emotionally and physically. Okay, bing, bing, bing. So this is about not just the sex. This is about the emotional intimacy. I'm going to pull a card on each of those. Okay, I'm actually being told to get an archetype card. What can we see as an archetypal consideration for emotional intimacy, emotional nakedness? The cave. Oh, these wreaths are a little itchy. Eee. Sorry. Oh, that was probably loud in the headphones. Okay, the cave. This one says, those who are fortunate enough to find and enter the cave are forever changed. It is a place of potent power, acting both as a portal to another realm and a space for sacred ritual and initiation. Okay, so this emotional, physical merge, you know, the emotional and physical axis is also the feminine and masculine in balance. And that we're getting these gender roles is fascinating to me. And that we're getting this like incessant kind of magnetic pull to explore these polarities. So something is in the air with the timing. There is a sacred initiation happening here when the emotional alignment joins the physical nakedness. The cave is a place to return for meaningful retreat where one can see the true self in the darkness. In esoteric teachings, the cave is known to reside in the center of the heart. So we're getting to the emotional core of the heart. Within its walls, the whispers of compassion and self-understanding can be heard. Yet because of its mystery and power, many of us fear the cave and never try to find it. We busy ourselves in the bright lights of the city while the carnivorous and dimly lit chamber, cavernous, not carnivorous, and dimly lit chamber calls out to us in the night. Where is your cave? You already know. Return to it and tend the fire. Okay, so everybody is sort of, you know, I guess the solstice is a perfect time to be in that dark, primordial cave-like energy where we're all being asked to return to the center of our heart. And, you know, in these intimate connections, we're really being asked to meet our partner there. Yeah, so let's just do one more layer. Yeah, those. Okay. I'm going to get one for the feminines regarding this emotional, physical nakedness. So, you know, for the masculines, it's typically this, I don't want to say stingy, but withholding the emotion. And it's, you know, being emotionally available is like going all in, bearing the soul and expressing that to the feminine. And in many ways, the feminine's nakedness physically is a bearing of the soul to the masculine, and being free physically with the one is such a sacred gift. And masculines, if you have a partner that is truly open to you physically and surrenders and is in their feminine, what a gift. And feminines, if you have a masculine that bears their core, that doesn't mean they're overly emotional or, you know, on a roller coaster, but really tells you as emotionally available. What a gift. What can we see for the feminines? There is always enough. In the reverse. So there's a little bit of a scarcity here because of past interactions, because of not necessarily feeling like you can trust yourself, I'm getting, with having opened up prematurely or bitten the hook with breadcrumbing, if you've thought of it that way. Speaking of that, you alone, feminines, know when to proceed forward, when something feels off and when it doesn't. And you have every right to only engage physically with your masculine when it's actually good and right and true for you to do so, because when that is the case, there's nothing better. There will never be anything better than that. Nothing better than that. And so really honor yourself, feminines, and do not give yourself away if it's not warranted. You are so valuable. Really let that truth sink in. Really let that sink in. You are the treasure. Masculines, what can we see? Be loyal to what you love. Okay, so no more games, masculines. In your heart of heart, you know who you love. Love them. Love them. Open up. Love them. Love yourself. Be loyal to yourself. And when you know who you love them. Open to them. Open in your heart of hearts. Share yourself. Truly share yourself. When you truly share yourself, you will magnetize, masculine, somebody who will open completely to you. You are the key. Your feminine is the lock. Okay. Let's have a look at all the other things I said we would pull on. So I'm going to do the daily counterpart check-in and see what we can get for what each would say to each other about the connection, about each other, about the heart space and this opening, this emotional, physical progression right now. It does feel like a lot of things are being cleared through this Mercury retrograde. But let's have a look and see what comes up. Ooh, I just opened more sessions into January. I actually have one day on the 27th of December and then nothing until January. But please do check that out. And these ones are masculine. Okay, let's have a look at the energies. Conscious mind for both about these connections. Gone but not gone, and patience. So both realize that there's a new way to look at things. You know, every time we go into a spaciousness or integration phase on this journey, when things ebb and flow, hot and cooling, there's a period of cooling right now. There's some anticipation and preparation. This is like the Hanged one, where we look at the inverted. We experience something and then we flip it on its head and really take a look. So this is showing me that about the connection, both are gone but not gone. This is walking away and this is sort of lingering, loitering in the energy. But what I'm getting is that both are deliberating on the connection in general. There's like a taking stock, wondering if we've got it right about every little factoid, and really taking a look. So let's see what the feminines would say to the masculines about this. There's that warranted, justified energy. So the feminines have a resounding, you are their person. This could be they want to marry you. This could be they want it all. They don't want to just, you know, dare I say, just be engaged or casually date. They want it all with you. And they're really thinking about this connection and how they could have said or acted differently in the past that have caused these cycles, their accountability, what they would do now or then if they knew what they know now. The feminines are seeing some ultimate truth, and this is like bomb-proof energy, masculines, because they're really understanding when each of you are speaking from your fear or your shadow and not necessarily what was in that cavern in the heart. The deepest truth is like almost close to that truth. But the feminines are now seeing the impeccable truth in that heart center. They're becoming pretty wise, masculines, about their own actions and words with you, and also about your actions and words. So they're not believing the hype of your fear-based things. They're seeing through that. They've always been pretty savvy with seeing you, even if you haven't communicated or been emotionally available. But they're really catching on to the true you and the authentic them. And they're very much looking at it right now. What about the masculines? Ooh, Queen of Pentacles. So this is my wifey card. This is the home card. This is like living considerations and marriage. So we got a couple of marriage vibe cards here. Masculines are seeing right now the difference between where things are at and where they could be. So in the inverse, they're in deliberation about these things that have caused cycles. There's an overview. Yeah, you're becoming wifey material. Take gender how it resonates, feminines. And your masculine is starting to see you and them as getting closer to this. So yeah, there are a lot of considerations. This is also my physical mother card. So this is children, home, marriage, life partner, in the physical. This is giving me the feeling that the masculines are seeing you more so now in this than they ever have before. And it also has something to do with how many of these cycles or, you know, this gone but not gone, they just can't let you go. There's just too many aligned things about the connection that are starting to make sense in a way. I know in the past they used to think this doesn't make sense. How can I love this person and I don't really know them? How can I love this person and feel so much for them when there's these apparent differences? But now it's more like, how could I not fight for this? How could I not share the love that's here? There's been enough of these cycles and enough independent petitioning higher wisdom to warrant, to justify this deepening. There's a deepening in the energy. What can we see about each other? Magician. Oh, and balance, the temperance. So that's really beautiful. So both are manifesting this emotional equilibrium and compassionate non-attachment. This is the degree of safety and action that is needed to come together in that intimate, physical, emotional axis. I want to say both can relax and be themselves together now. Stripping away the pretense. How about the feminines? Six of Wands in the inverse. So feminines are no longer feeling like they need to be chosen in order to feel like they have worth. They're finding it within themselves because they've got this emotional balance. And because this process has brought them into knowing it on their heart space, knowing that this is, the container that each is in. This is really, really beautiful. There are so many things that the feminines worry about. A lot of the things that make them uniquely them. I've actually been processing myself. I have a very colorful history. I have 3 children. I've been married twice. There's a lot of things about me that, I've done a lot of things that I can't have a first with a person anymore. And even those things have been anchoring into my acceptance and self-love. In the last day, I've been celebrating those badass things that I've done and how alive and vital and badass I feel in life. Like, I live with my full heart wide open and I do the things, but sometimes I've wondered, because it's sincere and it's big and it's me bulldozing through life. Every one of us have the things that make us us. And this is what's happening. The feminines are realizing that we are incredible beings. So strong, so amazing. And we don't need anybody to tell us that. And the irony is our divine counterpart, our aligned one, loves us exactly for the things that we have done that make us unique. That's a revelation that is sinking in to the feminines about their masculine right now. So masculines, yeah, spoiler alert, but your feminine has felt like they might not be able to be everything you would want. And feminines, you have to know that your aligned counterpart loves those things about you and exalts those things and admires those things and celebrates those things and sometimes feels intimidated or insecure about those very things that you feel insecure about, but for a different reason. I just heard the masculine say, "You awesome beasts, you." Okay, if the feminines are beasts, maybe they're this cheetah. Yeah, feminines are really getting it. What about the masculines about themselves? Yeah, through all the confusion, through all the choices, you stand out in the crowd. They've never been more sure. When the masculines are most honest about what they really want in life, about who they could align with that would bring them this ultimate peace and balance and salve for their soul, you, feminine, in all the things that have tempered you. Balance is the temperance card. You stand out, you shine above all others for your masculine. What can we see on the heart space for each other? Okay, the wounded warrior, and sort of this is the illusion of separation. This is sadness, emotional longing, feeling left out in the cold. In the inverse like that, there's healing. This guy is bandaged up and the sadness is going away because I believe we're really starting to understand spaciousness and autonomy, sovereignty, honor, respect, unconditional love. These cycles of heating and cooling happen in these dynamics so that we are tempered and balanced out, so that we're unfazed by the normal demands of life and change. We get comfortable with uncertainty. We're up for it. We master so that we can be in the flow. We don't have to eventually process so much in hindsight. We can amass wisdom enough to go with the flow. And so on the heart space, we're kind of learning to just be more easygoing and go with the flow. How are the feminines dealing with this? Yeah, that deepest subconscious truth, safety, maybe the last remaining kind of insecurities are coming up for clearing, because you know what, feminines, every little thing that you've done, had done to you, witnessed, has made you who you are. All of it. And you are incredibly, incredibly precious, feminines. All of it, all of your history, everything you've been through, all of it makes you you. Yeah, what a beautiful thing. Masculines, Queen of Swords, tact and timing. So yes, you are the time masters, and you are starting to really understand the wisdom of these cycles of separation, of heating and cooling, of temperance, the dance. This is a very flowing, tactful, compassionate regulation of the connection. Many times the masculines are the ones that end the cycles in these connections, that draw the line, that cut it off, that block it sometimes. This is a softening of those more harsh beginnings and endings, and more of a smooth energy coming in. Actually, on my table, this raven or crow is pointing outside the connection, and I'm really getting that the masculines are now drawing the line in the sand for everything that would come against this connection. So it's not like they're fighting for this, but they are putting, it's like talk to the hand, talk to the hand about anybody that has something lower vibrational to say. I'm really getting that this masculine that's been through the karmic war is going to say, hey, you haven't walked in my shoes and you don't know my feminine. If you would say anything to the contrary about this love, talk to the hand. They are drawing the line. I'm hearing the masculine saying, this person has stuck by me through thick and thin, through the good times and the bad, through sickness and in health. Ugh. The masculines are saying, this is my ride or die. And if you can't take my word for that, you think you know me, you don't know me. Yes, masculines, they're being loyal to what they love. Yes, they are being loyal to what they love. That is really beautiful. What can we see on the heart space for each other? Wow. The Empress and the King of Swords. I actually want to put that in the upright. I don't think in the whole time I've been on YouTube, I've changed one from the way that it landed, but I absolutely need to do that, because this is you, divine feminines, coming into your Empress energy. And possibly this was like that becoming of the Six of Wands, where there is this incredible acceptance of self. Boom. In real time right now. So be it. And the masculines are seeing it. You know, this is that King of Swords. We got the Queen of Swords here. That's the perfect intellectual match. Checkmate, I just heard, like, perfect match. And we just got those messages about the masculines standing up for their counterpart. And, you know, telling all that would have any kind of misguided, ignorant, limited viewpoint about these connections. I decree this right here. This is my abundance, my blessing, my person, my new life, my everything. I just heard. Suckers. Yes, masculines. So there is a really empowering energy coming in, everybody. It's like I just felt the wind go and blow away insecurity and misconceptions. The winds of change are here. What can we see for the feminines? Oh, heck yeah. Look at this. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so feminines, this is codependency free. You finally know your worth. Feminines, you know your worth. There is no blame or insecurity in you when you've come into mastery. You are ready to receive love. Because you know what it is, because you know you're worth it. And that's when you don't need it, but it shows up. What are the masculines thinking on the heart space? The High Priestess. So this is a little bit of action. I do feel like they're going to have a hard time not taking a little bit of action towards you right now, feminines. The first intimacy cards, though, don't get ahead of yourselves, everybody. Feminines, make sure your masculine is opening up to you emotionally and that there is that layer now. You cannot skip over that anymore. You know your worth. Do not fear that won't come if you hold out for it. Feminines, don't settle. It is one thing to settle in relationships that are karmic and therefore a lesson that are nowhere close to this level of beauty. But it is an entirely different sinful thing to settle with someone you could have it all with, right? Oh, we think that it might be easier to throw it all in, caution to the wind, especially with someone that we feel this much for. But the sweet truth of it is, this is the one person you want to take it slower and surely. The masculines have been so good at calling the shots when things go, but I'm seeing in the cards that the masculines are wanting to get all in. And now feminines, it's time to, very, very beautiful. So this card coming out in the inverse, this Empress energy, is really a reminder, feminines, you're more empowered, more savvy, more wise, more valuable than you've known in the past. And it's time to be that Empress. Not with any lower vibrational energy. I heard the word spite. It is not about resisting as an eye for an eye. This is about really letting it sink in. You have a shot at true love here. Play with it, explore it, revel in it, appreciate it, affirm it, and use your empowerment wisely with sincerity. Oof, what is the manifestation coming up for both? Steps in the process. This is perseverance, stamina, and moving through the blockages together. This is the feminine and masculine side of the energy. This is usually a blockage obstacle card. In the inverse like this, it's like you both know what you need to do to keep moving through. This is really teamwork on the union energies. This is so much clearing, so much overcoming. The final lap in the energy here. What would the feminines like to say? Okay, communication. So the feminines are wanting to manifest an increase of material realm, real world, not just 5D. This is like even just simple, quick checking in. The feminines are wanting to communicate in minimal ways, I'm hearing, about the steps that each are taking right now. So little updates. This card is also facing out of the connection here. So feminines, don't share too much is what I'm hearing about the changes, about your choices going forward. Need to know basis. There are some things that you can share. But yeah, there is this incubation of the winds of change right now that take it easy, feminines. And for the masculines, baby steps. So 2 of Coins is my baby steps card. And masculines, yes, this is like opening up your emotional currency bit by bit. As you're going through this rite of passage, though, masculines, where the obstacles are starting to be moved past, the light's about to change, you know, the light has changed to green. Or maybe there's a series of lights and you're having to wait before they each turn green. And you're having to be measured out in what you can do. And it's not necessarily stop, start, but there's pauses for surety right now. And so I'm sensing an excitement growing for the masculines about the winds of change coming in, about these blockages being cleared, about the distance between closing, whether that's emotionally, mentally, or physically. It feels like there's these incremental gaps closing in the connections. And masculines, you are now more sure than ever that it's happening, is what I'm seeing here. So there are some big changes for all the counterparts that are actually bringing you closer in some way right now. Everybody's just sort of manifesting this. There's momentum here. What can we see for the actions each are taking? Okay, ending separation. Becoming infallible on the heart space, that cave, the purity, the purification. 5 of Wands is eliminating any fluff, any insignificant or superficial concerns, any things that don't really matter, not sweating the small stuff. But, you know, these can be the worst devil energies when they're things we don't think are that big of a deal, and we do them anyways. That's what makes the difference between the truth that sets you free, like an energy drain, and being completely solid in your existence, your life, your maneuvering in the world. Don't sugarcoat, gloss over, carpet sweep, or say to yourself, it's not that big of a deal. Don't procrastinate. Every time you are convicted internally about, I should do that, and don't, you're adding to this pile that eventually you're going to have to clean it up. Become more, I heard, energetically meticulous to keep it tight. And don't let this stuff build up. Don't go empty-handed when you know there's something that you could do that really, I'm hearing cleanliness is next to godliness, but this is that energetic cleanliness. That is such an interesting statement, because so many times in the last few years I've been hearing that we're taking these sayings from a material perspective, and that Hanged One energy is the spiritual or energetic inverted meaning. So even cleanliness is next to godliness. Being a literal material realm thing is, housekeeping. Same thing holds true for energetic. If somebody says something and it really turns your stomach, don't be polite and nod and say, yeah. Don't do that. Remove yourself from things that are not aligned. Clean up things that you have created a misalignment with. Don't be sloppy with it, feminines. And don't tell yourself that you're too extra or sensitive or neurotic. Do it. What are the feminines waiting? Okay, so there are some things moving out for the feminines that possibly you already have set in motion. Ending karmic partnerships. You might be waiting for the fruits of that labor to come to the surface here. Waiting to see how things are going to play out on this next phase. I'm actually getting to pull some clarifiers for that. So what is the advice for the feminines? I said what I said. That's what I just heard. So the Queen of Swords makes the judgment calls. Through this ascended, there's a butterfly on there. So no regrets, feminines. You have put something in motion. Stay neutral about it, because you can't do much more than wait this one out at this time. It's like things need to balance, and you've done what you can. You've said what you've said. This is about surrender, trust, release. So not only are you feminines being asked to receive your masculine, prepare to receive them, but you're also preparing to receive the karmic reconciliation, in the sense that it's going to have, I'm hearing payout or finalization. Yeah. I'm being drawn to this. It looks like a vulture because they fly at a 45-degree angle. It doesn't look like, well, I'm going to say it's vulture. So there are scavengers around waiting to see about your scraps. I don't know how that's going to apply, feminines, but just know that your decisions affect the lives of others, and just stay neutral about the things that you've been guided to say and do, because there are scavengers that are gleaning insight, wisdom, lessons vicariously through the circumstances that aren't directly tied to your future. Masculines, 8 of Pentacles. So that plus the 2 is the 10 of Pentacles. You really are working on something. And we got the 7 of Pentacles for the feminines, the 8 of Pentacles for the masculines. So right now, masculines, don't invest or specialize or put effort, money, resources into things that are actually old worldviews or old concepts. This is a time, if you're going to go forward with the things that you want to create, don't do it just because of the Pentacles. This is, I'm still looking at this card, be loyal to what you love. Masculines, you have to have that heart of hearts, that cave, that emotional component to get to the 10. And your baby steps right now are very much bringing you there, but there are things right now that you may think are indirect, but they are related to your connection and you becoming this integrated aspect of yourself that also includes your emotional truth. No more sneaky, shady, half-assed choices. This is taking your life to the next level. So you have to be impeccable to do that. And so there are things that you're going to have to cut out. You're also going to have to cut out being emotionally unavailable with your feminine. There is a real patience and loyalty and momentum all building here. What can we see for the biggest challenge in the connections? Oh, progress with the friendship. This says the best friends. So the challenge is there's an increasingly intimate pull, but there's so much progress being made with the friendship foundation here. What the feminines say, yeah, they're opening their heart to just, to the everything. Feminines really want to go forward in these connections in ways that haven't been done yet. They want to really open their hearts. They are opening their hearts. They're becoming more and more resilient. Masculines, all the lovers. Oh, this is like opening your heart too, but it's also desiring to ground this in the physical. I just did that exhale, and it feels like the masculines are really just like all the anxiety, all the fighting it, all the resistance is exhausting. I just want my person. I just want to come home to my person. Yeah, you do, masculines. And your feminine is opening their heart to receive you. This is Pentacles too. So, they want to open their whole being to you. And so, yeah, this period of establishing the friendship foundation is also, it will never stop. But the coast is almost clear here, is what I can feel, because there's been enough progress made. What is the solution to this challenge? Wow. Ace of Wands and King of Wands. This is all life purpose and, higher purpose with the King of Wands. That's my divine masculine, energetically imbued with alignment, purpose. There's going to be a focus in how the masculines can join mission, align for greater purpose, bring their shamanic, sensual energy into the mix. There is a growing passion we've seen, or at very least, the winds of change are moving it towards a synergy with making love, with generating innovation, with collaborating physically, sensually, emotionally, energetically, that's going to lend itself to this higher calling. The solution is to start looking at these connections as perpetual motion machines. This generation of love, when the physical, emotional purity is reached, is like a supernova. What is the feminine? Wow. The Queen of Wands. There's a yin-yang going on here, and Hubba Hubba card. I'm hearing K-I-S-S-I-N-G. So yeah. Feminines are here for this. The feminines, this is the feminines in all their glory. This is their sacred spiritual. This is Tantra. This is literally the justice coming in, the emotional, physical connection. This is the perfect couple, the counterparts, the sacred sexuality, the safety and intimacy. I'm going to be publishing an oracle card series eventually, called the Meredithia Crystal and Mineral Oracle. It is all about crystals and minerals. It has 312 cards. And years ago, when I channeled the rough messages, I'm going to have to completely rewrite the whole thing, but it was a framework. The last two cards that I channeled were safety in intimacy and sacred sexuality. And I knew at that time that when I wrote them, they would not be in print until I mastered those things. And this is the first time that I have literally felt aligned myself and seeing it in the cards since I've been on YouTube that has said it is so. It is done. It is here. This is beautiful, everybody. Well done, collective. Because we are really getting into this sacral chakra mastery, the sensual chakra, the spiritual chakra, the intimate, the pleasure chakra. As couples, the way it's designed to be, in holy union. This is absolutely beautiful. What can we see for the masculines? The 7 of Coins. We got another yin yang. So the masculines and the feminines are both working on seeing things come to fruition in these connections. And patient. And observant. And diligent. And, you know, the 7 of Pentacles is the gardening card where we give things the nutrients and the requirements they need to flourish. So everybody is like coming into this honoring. What is the direction in the near future? Yes, progress and this leap of faith, the New Year's Day. I was going to say until the end of the year, but then I was thinking, you know, up until New Year's Day. Here's New Year's Day. This is the progress. There's that dog for loyalty. The masculines are definitely looking back at the feminine here. What do the feminines want to say about that? Okay, the shadow side. So feminines, until New Year's Day, you're going to be clearing all the last remaining shadow. Yeah. Masculines. Wheel of Fortune. Wait for divine timing. You're going to be guided more powerfully than you've ever been guided, masculines, because you're coming into that alignment. No holds barred, I just heard. It's go time, masculines. This is go time. This is beautiful. Now, that doesn't mean throw caution to the wind, right? But it means the coast is clear to really earnestly start coming forward and working on life together. Ooh, so good, you guys. Ugh, like, big hug. Big hug. What can we see for the feminines? Seal of evolutionary colors. Progressive awareness, multi-directional change. The wind of change. This is progressive. This is progressive. Progress. So yeah, get rid of those devil energies and know your worth. And masculines. Galactic transporter, adventure, exploration, and discovery. Yeah, you ain't seen nothing yet, masculines. Open up the adventure can of worms and get in there with your feminine. Explore, discover who you each are. Reinvent yourselves together in all the best ways. Okay, many blessings. Bye for now.